Good evening and welcome to tonight's meeting of the Board of Education. This meeting is called to order at 4:30 p.m. in open session. Roll call, please.
Student Board Member Iwan Yanwu. Ms. Armstrong.
Present.
Ms. Cintron.
Present.
Mr. Critchfield.
Present.
Mrs. Garza.
Present.
Ms. Stewart.
Present. Tonight we do not have requests addressing closed session agenda items. Is there anyone else that would like to speak? All right. At this time, the board will recess to closed session. Open session will resume at approximately 6 p.m.
Okay. Thank you, everyone, for your patience. We now reconvene to open session at 6:08 p.m. to resume the regular order of business. Board Clerk Critchfield will provide an update on closed session topics.
Thank you, Madam Vice President. The topics discussed in closed session were public employee discipline, dismissal and release, and labor negotiations. The board took no action in closed session.
Thank you, Clerk Critchfield. We do not have any replacement pages tonight. And our new student board member, Chibike Iwan Yanwu, will now lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. At this time, I invite Mayfair High School alumni and class of 2026, Mr. Chibike Iwanyanwu, and his friend, Denobi Castillo, to come forward and to administer the ceremonial oath of office. Can the board please join me down for a couple of pictures? Thank you. Welcome, Board Member Iwan Yangwu. It's nice to have you aboard. Okay, let's go ahead and move on. Let's see. At this time, I'd like to welcome our student board reporters. We have a new reporter representing Bellflower High School this year, Kaylin Vera. Welcome, Kaylin. Before you share your board report, can you share a bit about yourself and what motivated you to represent Bellflower High School?
Good evening, Board President Stewart, members of the board, Superintendent Dr. Simon, district colleagues, guests, and fellow students. My name is Kaylin Vera, and I'm proud to be a representative for Bellflower Middle and High School. As my time progressed within Bellflower Unified School District, I have made it a point to become as active as I can possibly be, consistently trying to improve campus culture through involvement. Now in my final year at Bellflower, I am able to serve as a student board reporter while also holding leadership positions and participating in many on-campus organizations, such as ASB, Link Crew, Apex, NHS, CSF, Tutoring Club, Mu Alpha Theta, and the Early College Program. After high school, I wish to further my education at a four-year university studying either biomedical sciences or microbiology in order to pursue a career in the medical field as a pediatric oncologist. As a board reporter, it is my responsibility to provide updates on all the new events and accomplishments of Bellflower High School throughout the school year, ranging from topics like student achievements, campus culture, and community engagement. It is my goal to highlight Bellflower's achievements and the unity being created. Okay, this is going to be Bellflower High School September board report. Okay. So starting with the first day, Bellflower students returned to school on Monday, August 18th, and were welcomed with an array of balloon arches, music, school backdrops, a red carpet, and even a new principal. This year marks the first as principal of Bellflower High School for Mrs. Cummings, and we are truly glad to have her. We wish her the best of luck as she navigates this exciting new year. On August 22nd, the Bellflower football team opened the 2025 season with a thrilling game against Santa Ana. The team put up a great fight, going neck and neck with Santa Ana for most of the game, keeping the audience on their toes. In an impressive turn of events in the later half of the fourth quarter, the Bellflower Buccaneers secured the win with a last-minute touchdown. Moving on to Club Rush, students participated and explored the many different opportunities available on campus and were able to expand their involvement. On August 29th, ASB hosted the first rally of the year, full of games, energy, and class spirit. Additionally, the students were able to be introduced to Buster, our drug canine, and honestly the goodest boy. And yesterday, Bellflower students and families were welcomed for the annual back-to-school night, where parents explored the campus, met with teachers, and stepped into their students' shoes as they followed the Bell schedule. Moving on to our upcoming events at Bellflower, Buck Tailgate is on the 11th, where students are encouraged to show support for the football team by wearing red, white, and blue, and come before the game to enjoy some food, activities, and games provided by ASB. Senior Sunrise will be on the 15th and is an iconic senior event meant to symbolize the beginning of a new era for our seniors. Our homecoming and homecoming pop-up shop are arguably our biggest events of this semester. Prior to the homecoming dance, students will be able to purchase secondhand dresses and tuxedos for a low price and an even lower price with proof of an ASB membership. The homecoming dance will be a few weeks later on October 11th, and you can find out the theme on our ASB Instagram on September 17th. And that is the end of my presentation, and I would like to thank you guys for this opportunity.
Representing Mayfair High School is Gil Friedman. Welcome back, Gil. Would you like to share a little bit about yourself before you begin?
Sure. My name is Gil Friedman. I'm the junior class president at Mayfair. I also do theater and choir, and I just joined our new surf club. More to come about that. I don't surf myself, but I'm just going to help out where I can. But yeah, I'm glad to be back. Thank you for having me. Good evening, Superintendent Dr. Simon, board members, district colleagues. Here is Mayfair's September board report. So our two leadership groups on campus, ASB and Link Crew. ASB, we had our ASB camp over the summer. It was super cool. We got to play games and get to know all the new members. It was really fun. We've been working on a lot of assembly prep. We just had our welcome back assembly last Friday, and there's more pictures to come in the later slides. That was super fun. And we've been focusing on our student section at our football games. The environment is definitely on the rise, so if you guys can make it to our upcoming games, I believe you guys have a card up there with all of our games, so yeah, love to have you guys. Our other group, Link Crew, they focus primarily on the freshman class. They held the freshman orientation where the freshmen all joined up in the gym, and they were all given 2 Link leaders to play games and get to know all of them. You know, it gives them a little foot in the door as they enter high school to say they know people. It's really cool, and they have a bunch of freshman activities coming up this year, so we're excited to see what they have in store. Sports right now, they're off to a good start. We have cross country, flag football, girls tennis, girls golf, girls volleyball, cheer, and esports. So good luck to all the teams. For football, we played Yorba Linda on the 21st at SoFi Stadium. It was a fun game. We played Bullard on the 29th at home last Friday. And this Saturday, if you can make it to San Juan Hills High School, we're going to be playing Las Vegas at 2 p.m. Here was our welcome back assembly. It was Hawaiian themed. It was a bunch of fun. We got to play a lot of games. I think that's Mr. Fong and Mr. Saunders getting covered in eggs. I'm not entirely sure what that was about, but that was our middle school assembly, which is always a really good time. We held back to school night this past Tuesday. Is when all the parents got to come and kind of experience what it's like for their students around campus. They get to go to all their classes, get to see the clubs, the activities, the groups on campus that they can get involved in, and that was a really good time, yeah. Coming up, we have our senior sunrise this Friday. Clubs Rush will be held on 9/11, where all the students can see all of the clubs on campus and see what they can get involved in. And homecoming tickets will be on sale at the end of the month on the 22nd. Thank you.
Madam Vice President, if I could say something. Gil, great presentation as always. I also want to say, because we don't have a meeting before, but you also have the Lakewood game on 9/12 too, so it's the milk bucket game. So hopefully everybody can come out and support, because we really got to be Lakewood. Absolutely. So that was great report, man. Of course.
Thank you, Board Clerk, for that addition. Now representing Somerset High School is Island Roy. Welcome back, Island. Would you like to share a little bit about yourself before you begin?
Yes, hi. Thank you guys for having me back. Like I said, I'm a senior at Somerset, and I kind of like participate with everything around school. I'm not really in no clubs. The club that I actually am in, I am in child development still. I'm on my 2nd year. So I just basically do the work by myself while she teaches the first one or whatever. And I don't know. That's basically all I got to say about that. So I'm going to do my presentation now. Thank you for this opportunity, and now I'll be sharing some events happening at Somerset. Frank Perales is our new science teacher. I was kind of afraid to meet a new teacher, but once I met him, he became my favorite. He fits in great with the Saints. Me and some other students have worked in woodshop, have measured, designed, and built the new shelves for our staff bathrooms. The staff are happy to have their bathroom refreshed, and the students learned how to work with instructions from clients. 25 students, 7 staff members, and staff friends and family went to Teresita Pines for a weekend camping trip. They participated in archery, rock climbing, kayaking, hiking, volleyball, swimming, and s'mores. We enjoyed prizes to prizes was given to the top players at the end of the at the last campfire at the end of the weekend. Back to school night. Somerset had back to school night on August 20th. Parents, students, community members, and district leaders enjoyed a barbecue dinner and spent time seeing what students are learning on campus. We are in the middle of our school-wide pickleball tournament. Staff and students are teamed up to play against each other for the title of pickleball champions. The games continue next week. Stressful. As part of our Capturing Kids' Heart training, students collaborated on building a school-wide contract called the Saints Agreement. Everyone at school has signed the contract, which stands for how we agree to treat each other. We had our first ASB Spirit Week. Students and staff dressed up for White Lie, Hawaiian, Y2K, Just As Your Type, and Twin Day. We have some events coming up soon. Next week, students have the opportunity to watch a film of Americans Got Talent with our ASB teacher, Mr. Amada. Then Mr. Peralta is taking students to St. Jose Creek to learn about what happens after we flush the toilet. FYI, we drink that water. September 22nd through the 26th is our fall intercession classes. Right before our 2-week fall break, we return and we're planning on attending the Scream Fest in LA. It's a lot of fun. I went last year. We basically learned how they do what they do in scary movies, like the fake makeup and just everything like that. Last but not least, mark your calendars for this year's Haunted Maze on Halloween night. It's sure to be spooky and so much fun. Thank you and have a great evening.
Thank you so much. And we also have representing Las Flores Home Education Independent Study Academy is Josana Torres. Welcome, Josana.
Hi.
Would you like to share a little bit about yourself before you begin?
Yes. Okay. So I'm a sophomore at Las Flores. I've been a part of the community since I was in 6th grade. And this year, some of my goals are to challenge myself by taking an AP class, start a new club on campus, and to help increase student involvement in ASB so more voices and ideas can be represented. And this is my presentation. It's a little lengthy because it's our first time here and the first one to represent the school, so I'm really excited about that. But yeah. Also, good evening, Board President Amy Stewart, board members, Dr. Simon, cabinet members, teachers, and students. I'm a proud student at Las Flores. I'm really excited to be here tonight to share some of the awesome things happening at our school. So, Las Flores is ready to make its mark in the 2025 through 2026 school year. We started strong with one of our seniors, Sean Kester, showing off his leopard pride by speaking on a student panel at the district's administrative advance. Sean did a great job representing what it's like to be in the independent study, which is what makes Las Flores unique. Every student at our school has chosen this educational path, and we're really proud of that. Okay, so since we're an alternative school of choice, we follow a little bit of a different rhythm than most schools. Before the school year even starts for everyone else, our teachers and families come together for orientation overview night, which is kind of our own version of back to school night. The next day, while other schools are still getting ready, we're already meeting with families and signing contracts to kick off the new school year. So Las Flores is a TK through 12 school, which means our staff needs to be ready for everything. From little kids just starting school to seniors getting ready to graduate, this year we welcome Miss Shiley Johnson, our new TK through 12 wellness counselor. She's already helping high school students with scheduling and support, and we're glad to have her on board. We really love her. Our blended and core programs don't follow the traditional start date either. While other students were walking into classrooms on the first day, we were already hitting the ground running with online platforms like Inmentum and Accelerate, or being taught by our parents at home. But what a lot of people don't know is that Las Flores students have tons of options. We can take dual enrollment college classes, attend other high schools in the district for certain courses, and even be a part of programs like CalAPS. And yes, we can play sports too. Right now, we have Mayfair tennis and soccer players, a wrestler, and even a basketball player who is getting attention from college scouts. We also have a student who sings with the Mayfair Mariners. Independent study gives us the flexibility to make it all happen. On August 20th, we officially started our core/blended classes. When we arrived on campus, our teachers and staff were there cheering us on in their leopard spirit wear and growth mindset shirts. It was a great way to start the year, full of energy, encouragement, and community. Okay, we also spent time going over our new school behavior matrices created with student input and updated mobile phone rules. Then each class made their own social contracts. Even the teachers made one together. Their contract is hanging in the staff lounge next to their mailboxes, each labeled with fun adjective names. It's all part of something called Capturing Kids' Hearts, a program that helps us build stronger relationships and better school culture. Middle schoolers even came up with their own discipline consequences based on last year's real experiences. So being at a TK through 12 school definitely has its challenges, but it also comes with some big advantages. One of the best parts is getting to have the same teachers for more than 1 year, and those relationships really matter. So because our school is so connected, we can all focus on the same skills at the same time. So this year we're working on vocabulary, comprehension, and now even word study and math talks. So whether you're in TK or in 12th grade, we're all learning about things like syllables, sounds, and how to think and talk about math in real-life situations. We also get to explore learning in creative ways. This year, thanks to Prop 28, we're continuing our music classes, including guitar and ukulele. Students are pumped to take their instruments home and start practicing. And finally, a few exciting things that are coming up. Student council and ASB elections are happening this week, and we'll be launching everything after break. TK through 8 students are starting Enrichment Fridays next week with cool classes in STEAM, art, tech, and music, and we're all gearing up for our first monthly work collection conference, which is super important for tracking attendance. Plus, the TK through 8 kids are especially excited about the upcoming ST Math launch. There's even a chance that Gigi might visit, so that's really fun. I guess that's it. Thank you all for your time tonight. On behalf of the whole Los Flores community, we'd love to invite you to come and visit and see for yourself what it makes our school so special. Thank you.
Thank you for your reports. At this time, we know that you have other commitments to school and maybe your family. So if you'd like to go ahead and leave, this is the time that you can do so. But if you'd like to stay, we are more than happy to have you here with us. Have a nice night. But I also wanted to invite our new student board member, Iwan Yanwu. If you'd like to share a little bit about yourself and why you decided to run for this position.
Okay, so first of all, good evening, everybody. It's an honor to be here. My name is Chibike Iwanyawo. I'm a senior at Mayfair High School, so I'm going to be out of here real soon. But a few things about me is, for one, I'm quite a passionate person. So, like, if I find a field that I find interesting, I, like, go all in. And the main way that that's shown itself is through Mayfair's esports program. I'm actually the captain of the Super Smash Bros. Ultimate team. I've been on the team since freshman year, and I've had to like build my way up. I was JV, freshman, and then moved up to varsity my sophomore year, and then I became a captain junior year. So I've been involved there. What else? I'm also, I'm not decent. I'm also an AP scholar. I've taken various AP classes from AP Geo to AP World to even AP Spanish. And I'm working on my CELA by literacy currently, which I will receive, I believe, by the time I graduate. And yeah, that's basically all there is about me.
Thank you for being so brave and sharing that with us. Do we have any corrections to this evening's agenda?
No corrections this evening, Vice President Garza.
Thank you. We have employee representatives' reports this evening. Can we have BTA President John Young come forward, please? And welcome.
Are we on here? Yeah. Good evening, Vice President Garza, School Board, Superintendent Simon, Cabinet. Thanks for the time. I'm glad I just made it in time. I was working a football game at Long Beach Wilson, and because of the heat, it got pushed back, and we just walked off the field. That's one of the small things I wanted to report on today. But more importantly, we had our inaugural new teacher event on the 28th. Kathy Fong from BITSA came out on the evening around 4 p.m. And we had about 25 new teachers who were able to make it, and she was able to answer lots of questions about BITSA, the induction process, answer questions about all of those steps it takes to get your clear credential. Many of them are in different places on that path. That was very helpful. I appreciate Mrs. Fong's help on that. The members were able to talk to folks from Standard and these kinds of companies so they understand the planning they need to do as public school teachers and preparing for their future. And that was very helpful as well. They had lots of very good questions. Many of them were very enlightened to things that they weren't aware of. We look forward to doing it again, and we're thinking about maybe something mid-year as well. On September 13th, the PTA is the BUSD PTA in large is going to be doing an event across the street at Ramona, and I'm looking forward to being there, meeting with folks, encouraging them to be part of the Parent Teachers Association at their respective schools, the importance of parents being involved, especially early. I'm sure we're going to have lots of folks who have kindergartners, TKs at these schools, and the importance of volunteerism, and that's one of the connections we can make as an association, both CSEA and BTA. A lot of the work is volunteerism, and finding your passion and pursuing those things is important, and we want to pass on that message. The last thing I wanted to just mention was somewhat related to having to rush here to get here from that football game. Typically, baseball and football games after school start at 3:15, but because of the heat, they push it back. So lots of schools are dealing with inclement weather type stuff, and I hope that it's something that we continue to be very proactive about. I know there's a Senate bill coming up that needs a plan by January 1st, and then implementation by July 2026. So I'm ready and willing to talk about that and give perspective from BTA on that. So thank you for your time.
Thank you, President Young. Now it's time for PTA President Alexa Cortez. Is she out in the... No. Okay. But we do have Linda. Welcome back.
Okay, good evening, Board, Superintendent Simon, Cabinet, community members. My name is Linda Morgan. I am the current Director of Leadership for Bellflower Council PTA, and I'm here on behalf of Alex, who couldn't be there because she's ill. And it's my honor to represent the Bellflower Council of PTAs and to share some of the highlights of the important work happening across our district. So there we go. I still know how to work it. At the start of the school year, our PTAs and PTSAs were out in full force, welcoming students and teachers back to school, from colorful backdrops and inflatables to volunteers helping our youngest learners find their new classrooms. Our parent leaders made sure the year began with warmth, excitement, and support. So each month, we plan to highlight a few of our units and the wonderful things they are doing. So this time it is Woodruff Elementary PTA. They hosted a welcome back dance to bring families together, and they held an equal opportunity giveaway where prizes included Scholastic Library starter kits by grade level. This is a creative way to promote literacy and get kids excited about reading. We also have Mayfair High School PTSA. They launched their first snack shack of the season, complete with fire-grilled burgers and an assortment of snacks. It was a huge success. And they also held a membership giveaway at Back to School Night and are celebrating an amazing milestone of over 300 PTSA members and counting already. Looking ahead, we are excited about our BUSD PTA's Community Resource Fair. Thank you for that plug, by the way. That's coming up this Saturday, September 13th, going to be held at Ramona Elementary. This event will feature 9 PTAs and PTSAs, along with 27 community resources, all working together to connect families with valuable information, services, and opportunities. Okay. And this is only the beginning of what families will see this fall. Across the district, PTAs will soon be rolling out 2 of our cornerstone programs, the Reflections Program, a national arts initiative that gives students the chance to showcase their creativity through visual art, music, dance, writing, and much more. And Red Ribbon Week, where we'll join with schools to promote healthy choices, positive decision-making, and drug-free living. So these programs, along with many others throughout the year, reflect what PTA is all about, creating welcoming school communities, supporting student success, and strengthening the connection between home and school. So on behalf of Bellflower Council of PTAs, I want to thank the board and the district leaders for their support. Together, we're helping to make sure every child in every school has the opportunity to thrive. So thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Morgan, for stepping in. I think we have that in common tonight. I would like to now, it's time for the superintendent's report. Dr. Simon.
Thank you so much, Vice President Garza, esteemed members of the board, honored guests, and members of the Bellflower community. The past few weeks have been marked by enthusiasm and joy within our school district. On August 20th, Somerset conducted its back-to-school night, during which I, along with several cabinet members, attended to support Dr. Jock, who was in the back, and the Somerset team as they welcomed students, parents, and guardians. And you all had some amazing burgers that night as well, I must say that. On August 21st, the Mayfair High School team faced Yorba Linda High School at the beautiful SoFi Stadium. Although they did not achieve victory, our community demonstrated admirable support for the football team. It was a very exciting, energetic, fun environment. On Tuesday, September 2nd, Mayfair High School hosted its back-to-school night, followed by Bellflower High School's own event last night. Both gatherings featured performances by the respective school bands and were well attended by students, parents, and guardians. We extend our gratitude to the Board of Education and cabinet members for their presence at these events. The first session of the Special Education Parent Academy is scheduled for September 10th from 5:30 to 6:30 p.m. The topic will be Attendance Matters, the Impact of Frequent Absences. Given that September is designated as Attendance Awareness Month, it is fitting to commence the series with this important subject. Students, parents, and guardians, each school day matters, and improving school attendance requires a collective effort. Schools, families, healthcare providers, and community partners all play vital roles in eliminating barriers and creating conditions for student success. Finally, I would like to officially welcome, as we already have, so maybe not officially, but I'll just say it again, welcome to our new student board member, Chibeke Iwonyawu, who will serve as our student board member. I am continually impressed. I've met with this young man 2 or 3 times by his remarkable abilities, and I look forward to learning more about him and witnessing his future contributions. As he mentioned earlier, he is a student at Mayfair High School and serves as the captain of the Mayfair's Super Smash Brothers Ultimate Team. I believe his family, his mother was here. I know his friend was here as well this evening. And again, welcome, young man. We look forward to your future work and your endeavors. Thank you so much, Vice President Garza.
Thank you. So now we have committee updates. Does the board have any ad hoc committee updates this evening? Okay. Looking forward to hearing some later on as the school year progresses.
Madam Vice President, the only one I would have is for CalApps. So we have our next meeting next week. But I just want to say one of the things I heard a lot of at the back-to-school night and at Bellflower last night was the desire for more courses at the middle school level. So that's something that the board at CalAPS is actively looking into, of looking at policies on how we can actually add more courses for our CTE pathways at the middle school level. So that's something kind of putting out there now, but I know we're currently looking at policy to make that happen, but that'd be the only update I have.
Thank you. And Board President and Vice President, I did forget to do the main part of the work, which was introduce our newest staff members, if you allow me to go back momentarily to introduce our newest administrators.
Yes, please. Thank you.
My apologies, because this is the main event, right? I see many family members out there smiling, but also giving me the evil eye because I forgot to do something, so my apologies. I'm just playing. First, let me introduce Dr. Jennifer Morgan, our principal at Mayfair Middle High School. She brings over 30 years of experience in public education, including 15 years as a school administrator and a strong background in both the middle and high school levels. She currently served, as the assistant principal of curriculum and instruction at Tustin High School, where she led successful initiatives to improve math achievement, support long-term English learners, and increase A through G completion. She previously served as a principal of Talbert and Musuda middle schools, where she led significant academic growth and helped the schools earn recognition as California Distinguished School. She holds a doctorate in education and educational leadership from USC, Fight On, and is known for her student-centered, equity-driven leadership. Dr. Morgan, would you like to say something?
I just want to thank you all for having me here. I am so excited to be the new principal. I'm finished my third week tomorrow. So thank you, school board, for having me here, and Dr. Simon and cabinet. I've already learned so much about the community. I am just overjoyed by the staff and how they love kids. They really are student focused. And I've put a lot of hard work into my career to get to where I am today. And so it's my new challenge, and I look forward to really empowering kids to do their best and perform to their potential and make them ready for the future. So again, thank you for having me. I'm elated to be here, and I look forward to getting to know you more, the community more, and the staff and students. So thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Morgan. And also, for those who come up, if there's anyone that you want to introduce, family members and friends, please make sure you do that as well. You have anyone here, Dr. Morgan? Okay. No? Okay. All right. You're good. Okay. Mr. Sam Plattis, come on up. Thank you. Round of applause. Principal of our Intensive Learning Center, Mr. Sam Plattis brings over 25 years of experience in the Long Beach Unified School District, including 14 years as principal, most recently at Longfellow Elementary, and previously at Bixby and Lowell. At Bixby, he co-created and launched a Spanish dual immersion program, established a teacher pipeline with Cal State University Long Beach, and partnered with ATDLE to expand family and community engagement. His leadership has earned multiple honors, including the Educational Results Partnership Honors Award 2023 and 2024, the California Distinguished School Award, the U.S. Department of Education Green Ribbon Award, and the 2024 Equity Centered Change Agent Award. Mr. Plattis is widely respected for his inclusive leadership, culturally responsive practices, and commitment to equity and excellence. Welcome, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that kind introduction. I did prepare a few words because I just didn't want to leave anybody out. First, I'd like to thank my wife, Laura, for your encouragement and love, which truly made all of this possible. So I love you. Also, Board President Stewart, Vice President Garza, board members, Superintendent Dr. Simon, and cabinet members, thank you for the honor and privilege to be a part of the BUSD family. And when I say family, it really does feel like home to me, only after a few weeks, too. And that's in large part to the culture and the climate that's here and that I look forward to contributing to as well. The first 3 weeks have been filled with examples of what makes this such a special place, from supportive and involved families to our students who are all bright and engaged, to our teachers who put in the real hard work and connect with kids, to our classified team who literally make ILC shine. Over the summertime, 24/7, they are there whenever you need them. I'm proud of our entire staff, all of our staff that teaches our dual immersion program, who teaches our traditional program, and they've embraced and brought to life the Capturing Kids' Hearts PD, and also we have an AVID program that's new to us, and it's coming to life for the college and career environment too. So really, really proud of everybody for doing that. I'm really, if I could just close on saying this, I love being part of a district where vision and values and practices have really aligned and come together. It speaks highly to, again, the culture here in Bellflower Unified. And finally, we have a theme this year at ILC, and that is ILC where everyone's a piece of the puzzle. So I thought I'd bring everybody a piece of the puzzle too, because you are all a piece of the puzzle. So I'll leave these. Can I approach? Is that okay? I'm not going to hop over this. All right. And it says, may you be proud of the work you do, the person you are, and the difference you make. So thank you again for this honor. Looking forward to many years here. Thank you.
Thank you, Principal Plattis. Next is Dr. Yesenia Alvarez, our Director of State and Federal Programs. She brings more than 20 years of round of applause, please. Yes, yes. Dr. Alvarez brings more than 20 years of experience in education, including 17 years in site-based leadership, and most recently serving as Interim Director of Research Evaluation and Data in the Rolling Unified School District. She is a bilingual, equity-driven leader known for her collaborative approach, systems thinking, and unwavering focus on student achievement. At Hurley Elementary, she led a dramatic school turnaround, transforming it from the lowest performing school in the district to one of the highest, while also launching an award-winning TK-6 dual immersion program recognized by the CABE Seal of Excellence. In her recent district role, Dr. Alvarez helped design and evaluate targeted intervention programs, improve real-time data access for school leaders, and revise local assessments to better support teaching and learning. Dr. Alvarez, thank you for being here.
Thank you. Thank you. Good evening, Board President Stewart, members of the board, Superintendent, Dr. Simon, and the cabinet, and members of the community. I want to start by introducing my parents who have taught me the value of hard work. So this is my mom and dad. And then I also have my husband here with me, Fernando Sandoval. Thank you so much for all your support. My son, Samuel, who has to go to the restroom, so he's going to be like jetting out of here as soon as I'm done. So I am deeply honored and grateful and very excited to serve in the director role for state, federal, and student programs. Over the last few weeks, I have learned a tremendous amount about this new role. And I'm still excited to learn more, and I really look forward to supporting all the school sites, our principals, and our staff with making sure we do everything by the book and making sure that we do everything that's appropriate for kids. So once again, I look forward to contributing to our success and working collaboratively with our very dedicated staff and advancing our mission of excellence here in Bellflower. So thank you very much for this opportunity, and have a wonderful evening.
Thank you so much. Next is Bonnie Tom, our Coordinator of Academics and Assessments. Yes. So Ms. Tom is an accomplished educator with a strong background in instructional support, multilingual learner services, and federal program compliance. She has served as a special education teacher, program specialist, and teacher on special assignment, providing coaching and assessment coordination at the school level. She has played a key role in monitoring categorical programs, supporting multilingual learner reclassification, and organizing state assessments. Ms. Tom also contributed to a successful community schools grant application and helped schools earn state-level recognition for student achievement gains. Her expertise in coaching, data use, and instructional programs will be a valuable addition to our instructional support services team. Well, now, educational services team. Thank you.
Thank you,
Mrs.
Dr.
Tom.
Simon.
Yes.
Good evening, Board President Stewart, members of the board, Superintendent Dr. Simon, Deputy Superintendent Dr. Smith, and Cabinet and members of the community. I want to sincerely thank you for the warm welcome and the opportunity to serve as the coordinator of of accountability and assessments. I also want to thank Mrs. Carter and all of the certificated and classified staff members in the Educational Services Division for their kindness, grace, and the way they have welcomed me into the BUSD family. I am truly honored. Thank you again for your trust and for this opportunity to contribute to the important work that we are doing in this district. Thank you and have a wonderful night.
Thank you, Ms. Bonnie Tom. Next, we have Arthur A.J. Cunningham, Assistant Principal, Mayfair Middle High School. Mr. Cunningham brings nearly 2 decades of educational experience, including the past 6 years as a middle school administrator in the East Whittier City School District, where he served as both principal and assistant principal of Hillview Middle School. He is a passionate instructional leader known for improving student achievement, expanding college-going opportunities through programs like Puente, and leading efforts to strengthen campus climate through PBIS and MTSS. MTSS, I gave it too many S's. MTSS.
Take an extra one.
His collaborative style has earned praise for building trust with students, staff, and families. Mr. Cunningham.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate being here. Board of Education, President Stewart, Dr. Simon, Cabinet, community. I can't say enough amazing things about my first 3 weeks here in this district and at Mayfair High School, middle and high school. It's been a crazy whirlwind. The first 3 weeks are always amazing and incredible to see all the engagement and student support, the teachers working extremely hard, literally capturing kids' hearts. It's been awesome to see. I myself, I think of myself as a high school guy that's been trapped in middle school for the last 19 years, but I've loved every minute of it. But I'm very, very excited to jump into this new role, embrace the high school, as well as supporting the middle school level. And I'm looking forward to just supporting this community and helping our kids thrive. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Cunningham. Now we have Alexander Rodriguez, Assistant Principal, Bellflower High School. Round of applause. Mr. Rodriguez brings over 20 years of experience as a mathematics educator, instructional coach, and assistant principal, most recently serving in administrative roles at Narbonne and Linda Marquez High Schools in LAUSD. He is known for creating structured, student-centered systems that have improved attendance, behavior, and academic performance. A strong instructional leader, Mr. Rodriguez has facilitated impactful professional development in mathematics, equitable grading practices, and student engagement strategies. His leadership has contributed to measurable growth in student achievement and expanded family involvement. Fluent in Spanish and deeply committed to student success, he will be a strong addition. He has been a strong addition to the Bellflower High School administrative team. Welcome, sir.
Thank you. Thank you for that introduction. Thank you, board members, Dr. Simon, Cabinet, and community members. So this is actually my 25th year in education, so I'm very proud to say that. This has been my career, and I'm very passionate about being in education, and this is actually my community. I'm a resident of Downey, and since I live so close to, I really apologize because I didn't have anything prepared. So since I live so close, I feel that this is my community, and I'm going to have a lot of productivity where my commute time is going to be very, very little. So you're going to get a lot from me. You're going to get a lot of passion and a lot of systems that I'm going to create to help Bellflower High School progress and become better. So one thing that I did want to point out is the the passion that I have, and what Dr. Simon, a really big point that Dr. Simon says, that it's important for us to get to know every student, and that has been my goal for the first 3 weeks of school, to get to know the students. And during the whole year, my goal is to get to know every single student in the school. I know it's going to be a very difficult task because we do have 2,000 students, but I've done it before. So thank you, everybody, and I'm really appreciative of the time. Thank you.
All right, and finally, we have Judy Yuan, Assistant Principal for Ramona and Williams Elementary School, Craig Williams Elementary Schools. She brings nearly 15 years of experience in public education, including her role as an instructional coach in Santa Monica Malibu Unified School District, where she supported over 200 educators across 10 schools with a focus on instructional improvement, data-driven practices, and professional development. A former classroom teacher and school site leader, she brings also as an administrative designee, gaining experience in student supervision, discipline, and school operations. She is known for her collaborative leadership, inclusive mindset, and commitment to equity and excellence. She holds a master's degree in inclusive elementary education from Teachers College, Columbia University, and a bachelor's degree in international area studies and economics from UCLA. Welcome.
Thank you, board. Thank you, board members. Thank you, Dr. Simon. Thank you, cabinet. Thank you, community members. I am so excited to be here. I'll keep this pretty short because you probably hear my 1-year-old, Eliana, stomping around in the back. I also want to introduce my husband, Ivan. I am so thankful for this opportunity. It has been definitely a whirlwind of 3 weeks opening up the school. I've been at Craig Williams for most of the time, and it has been an amazing journey getting to know the community, getting to know the students, the staff, the wonderful, wonderful teachers that have been such a solid support for me as I get to know the school district, their students, and how to really create this inclusive, wonderful community for us. So I want to thank you again for this wonderful opportunity. I'm excited to be here, and I can't wait to continue this school year with everyone. Thank you.
Board President, would you like a picture with all administrators?
I would. That would be amazing. Can we do one? All right. Excuse my lateness. I had back to school night, so I'm catching up. But I see we're at public comments. Tonight we do have requests addressing open session agenda items. While meetings of the governing board are not public meetings, they are open to the public. Individual speakers will be allowed 3 minutes to address the board on each agenda or non-agenda item. The board will limit total time for public input on each item to 21 minutes per board bylaw 9322.2. Can we get Miss Angela Higuera? Thank you so much for being here.
Okay, I timed myself, so this might be 3:15, so I'm going to do my best. Thank you. My name is Angela. I've been a part of this community, working through Bellflower in the district for over 20 years. I'm speaking on behalf of myself and some fellow parents. Good evening, President, school board members, and Superintendent. Thank you for the opportunity to express my concerns. I'm here to discuss the displacement of 9 fifth graders at Albert Baxter. I'm sure many other upper grade students here in the district. My daughter, Aniston Higuera, is my youngest of 3 kids who have attended Baxter for the past 15 years. Our homeschool is Pyle, but with my oldest, I did school of choice as I felt Baxter was a better school for us. When school of choice was taken away, I had to do permits for my middle and youngest so the kids could all go to the same school while they overlapped years. Baxter has been our community, our family. Everyone at Baxter knows Aniston, and she was comfortable enough to express herself there as freely as she wished, no questions asked. When I got the call last Monday, I was devastated that our daughter and family were being forced to move. There were no discussions from the district, just a directive. I had to console my daughter as she cried for an hour as these emotions washed over her. You are all administrators. You don't know my daughter, and you don't know her story, but my daughter is just a number to you guys at the district. All 5th graders have been affected. They have made connections. They have built a community where they felt comfortable and excited to go to school. These students and our families have been were given days to move to a new school. There wasn't even a discussion, no options, just being told, hey, by Tuesday you have to figure out a whole new school with different rules, arrival and dismissal times. This has not only impacted my daughter and her friends, but a routine that we've established for years. Now my daughter, she is strong, she is resilient, but some of these other students aren't as lucky to have a parent who can be flexible and have a village to help. This school year has been off to the worst start for her and many students across the district. Classes and friendships were broken up because of this. Now I understand the reason of not having enough teachers, having low enrollment, but my question is, if there were over 40 5th graders at Baxter, why couldn't there be 2 smaller classes? Because the district didn't hire enough 5th grade teachers, because there was a focus on younger grades, didn't want to spend money to cover a second class at Baxter. Perhaps think about how these displacement after the first 2 weeks of school affects a 5th grader, and any child for that matter. The rug being pulled out from underneath them, the ones who have only known one school like my daughter, or the ones that have been moved all over the place and have finally made connections after a year or 2 at a new school and just being told there isn't enough room for you. On the last day of school, I saw many of them that left, they were in tears, and my daughter was strong. I don't know of any other district that moves permit kids as much as this one, especially once the school has been in session for 2 weeks. I know nothing may be done this year, but I'm here to advocate for my daughter and all students who were affected and will be affected by these last-minute changes. You as a district, I'm begging for future to please figure out a better system. Do some research with other districts. I'm almost done. Do your work during the summers. Set earlier registration deadlines. Stick to them, please. Figure out these before the school year and do better so that more kids don't go through this trauma year after year. And yes, this is traumatic and was very traumatic for my daughter. She'll forever remember that the district made her leave the only school she knew and all her friends because it wasn't handled better for her. These students and our families should mean more than just a number, more than just a name with a permit next to her name on a spreadsheet, and more than a $sign. And remember, the district, Bellflower District, is focusing on capturing kids' hearts. And whoever made this decision has really broken many hearts at Baxter. Not just our kids, but the families too, and the teachers. We've been very close to the teachers, and it's really affected us deeply. So I appreciate your time. I've loved this district for many years, and we're going to make it work, but I just needed to express how much this has really affected us. Okay, so thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Dr. Simon, can we just get some follow-up on that on our Friday memo, and maybe just how enrollment is going and what reorganization has looked like this year? Thank you. All right, next we have Mr. John Paul Dreyer. Thank you for being here.
Hi. I put on my card, I want to speak after the unaudited actual presentation so I can ask questions after the presentation. So it would be a more complete Q&A.
I'm going to take that to Mr. Sorega.
So unfortunately, that item is not a public hearing. There will be no public comment following that item. This would be the only opportunity to speak on that item on this agenda.
so then at the next meeting that I can comment on what they said. So I looked at the report, but I'll see what, I'll think of any other questions afterwards. But I like it because there's other things they present besides the data here. I'm John Paul Dreher, Albert Baxter graduate, class of 1974. 5 members of my family attended Albert Baxter. So I'm proud Baxter Bear. I'm very concerned about deficit spending. I spoke with my friend, Dr. Sue, last week, and she brought up the deficit spending as well. And I think this is an emergency, and I've been going door to door talking about how we're trying to do things better. We need a bond really, really bad. Some of the bond could take care of some of the stuff on the facilities if we had had the foresight to get 4 votes. We need a commitment now that we're going to have the bond on there because a lot of this spending could be covered in the bond. We need to go. I went to people's houses, knocked on their door. They have a Downey Unified. Maybe you can help us get Downey Unified. Oh, she's not here anymore. Get us Downey Unified. Students in Bellflower, North Bellflower, they're going to Downey Unified. It says, Downey Unified, class of 2038. We need to get those students back in our ADA. We need to bring people home to Bellflower and tell them why they need to come back to our district to bring the revenue back. We need to find cost-cutting measures right now. Do we need to have the air conditioner, set at such a low temperature? We have an emergency situation, it sounds right here. We need to have cost-cutting measures. When I was at Cerritos College and we projected a 3-year budget, I was missing that from this budget. What is our projected budget for the next 3 years? And how can we find ways to save money? We could go to our contractors, ask for them to rebid, see if they can go lower. So do we have to fill all positions? Can we combine positions? Can we have combination classes so students don't have to leave their home school? Can we be creative? We need a community brainstorming event to turn this around. I taught math. This is really important to me. And Christina Garcia, she taught math. She's the one that helped me get the audit of the district from the state. We need to learn from that. This is really sad. We need to work really hard. This is an emergency. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, we do not have a public hearing tonight, so we're going to move on to discussion items, and we're going to start with 12.1, our unaudited actuals. Mrs. Arcus, are you doing this? Yes? Okay, Mrs. Arcus, thank you.
Let me turn it on. I should know this by now. Thank you, President Stewart and board members. I appreciate the opportunity to speak on our unaudited actuals tonight. So these are the 24-25 unaudited actuals that I will be presenting. It's a very specific term. Why would we have unaudited actuals? Well, this is the district's opportunity to close the books. We look back at our revenues, our expenditures for the fiscal years, and the numbers will be audited by our external auditors, and their report will come back to the board in December. So we've already had several visits from our external auditors. They come several times throughout the year to give us, some support as we look through documents, and they will be back in December to let you know how our audit went. This closure of the books allows BUSD to capture the carryover and review for future obligations. It also closes the loop on a 15-month process of expenditure reporting for 24-25. So this process started in June of 2024, where we brought the budget for consideration, and then we provided 3 updates, which is the first interim, second interim, and estimated actuals. And here we are in September, coming back to the board with the final numbers. So I talk often about the general fund unrestricted, which is our our largest fund and where all of our cumulative activities happen for operations of the district. So this is a summary of the general fund unrestricted. We had revenues of about $153 million, expenditures about 127 million. Other financing transfers out in our encroachment of about 35 million, which did mean this year in our general fund unrestricted, we deficit spent by about 9.7 million. How do we make up the balance of what we have on our books? So we do have an ending fund balance in the general fund unrestricted. It's $86 million, and it is made up of what you see on the screen, some revolving cash accounts, some stores, reserve for economic uncertainty, which is a requirement of the state of California. The board has committed funds via budgets and first interims for deferred facilities, projected deficit spending, and we have an unassigned fund balance of about 12.8 million. That's how the cookie crumbles. So I had an opportunity. I got my cookie thing in there. Okay. 24, 25. I have a pie grant later. I could talk about pies too. Okay, 24, 25, our unrestricted general fund. There's a comparison to estimated actuals, which I presented to the board in June. So you may wonder, okay, you presented this to us in June. Can't be that many changes between the June timeframe and what you're bringing to me now in September. However, every district contends with some changes during this time. A lot of it's relative to, we bring it to the board in June, but many of the numbers have to be configured in late April and May, and we still have 2 payrolls to run. We still have a lot of activity. We have our summer session. We have a lot of things going on in those last months. We still have POs being created. Especially, I talked to a site today, you know, there was an urgent need to create a PO at the end of last year to get those things before they close for the school year. So believe it or not, that's why it's a 15-month process, because a lot of activity happens in those last couple months, which I see my colleagues nodding because we have a lot of requisitions and a lot of things we're approving during that time. So some of the things that stuck out to me that I wanted to share with the board tonight, one thing I talked about is, you know, a budget is a budget. It's a kind of a guideline for us to go by. But, you know, in all fairness, I will be wrong. There are going to be some things that happen along the way. And my job is to come to you and explain some of the things that we experienced. So we had interest that came in higher than anticipated by 1.2 million. This was kind of a movement between we have been moving to the LA County Office of Education, moving our finances over, and we basically were juggling 2 bank accounts as we made those moves. And so this is hopefully what we'll see as a one-time change, although I do like changes in the positive for revenue. So I will say that I'm not incredibly disappointed, but we will be able to monitor interest a little better in the future. We also have what's called E-rate funding of about 1.4 million that was received in late June, and that places those funds in the 24-25 fiscal year. For those of you who are incredibly familiar with E-rate, the state of California and the federal government, they do fund some of our activities when we deal with internet and some other things, so there's funds that you can apply for. The problem with E-rate funding is it's not always known. There's a pool of funds that is available to a lot of entities, a lot of districts, a lot of other people, and that pool can grow or shrink depending on how many people apply for it and who gets approved for it. So a lot of the times districts will, and we did, look at that funding on a cash basis because you really don't want to count on it until you know that we're going to get funded for that. Some expenditure changes that we experienced. We had about a $1.7 million decrease in expenditures, lower hourly costs, some position vacancies. We had a one-time CalOps allocation that was actually in the budget but was not repeated. And so those were some of the things that we're looking into, making sure that we take a longer look at those in the future. We also have $1.8 million in unallocated special education funds from 23-24 that we use to reduce the special education contribution. So this is an unusual kind of activity that we experienced here. Both Ms. Ulloa and I were new to the district, and we found that there were some special ed resources from 23-24 that were not used. And when those aren't used, they actually impact the general fund unrestricted balance. And so by not using them in the past, the district experienced larger expenditures in general fund unrestricted. So this was an opportunity to use those unallocated expenditures. We did not change the way what we spend on students or how we did students. It was just an opportunity to use some funding that would basically give the general fund back their the funds, because we were actually given funds to pay for that. So this is the comparison that I just talked about. The four things on the slide before add up to about a $6.1 million increase. So that's actually good news. At estimated actuals, we were in the $16 million range for the unrestricted fund of deficit spending, and we're at 9.7. So we still have something to look at, and we have a great team here that's looking at all of the options for how we can improve upon areas in our budget to look for ways that we could improve upon that deficit spending, and we'll continue to do that. So here's my pie chart, and it talks about the district revenue receipts. Revenues came in mostly as expected. I've probably described the only two things that were large in scope. We had revenue changes related to restricted programs. That's an interesting topic. In restricted side of the house, revenue changes most often mean that the programs didn't utilize all their funds that year, and so we don't get to claim the revenue, and we'll move it into next year. So nothing has really changed on the restricted side of the house. It's just another way for us to spend those funds in future years. And I'll talk a little bit about the carryover. So expenditures provided some more specific challenges. I went over a few of those. The district anticipated being able to use some restricted dollars in program activities that could not be fully expended. We did try. We were looking at some one-time funds that had expiration dates in the next few years, and we looked at ways that maybe we could get those funds into the schools earlier just so they could impact for longer, and we just ran into a little trouble. So those funds will roll over. They will not change the what we're planning to do, but we'll get more time to do that. Carryover funds mostly happen on the restricted side of the house, and they are an opportunity. Most of the carryover dollars are because our restricted funds have multi-year planning. So the state and the federal government often give us more than 1 year to spend those funds. So we look at opportunities to kind of stretch those out, figure out what we can do, especially when it relates to staffing or other things that we may want to keep on for a little longer to maintain the level that we've provided our schools. So the expenditures on the restricted dollars were some programs that we didn't fully expend, but we will be able to move them over into the next year and continue with our plan. In particular, there's a Learning Recovery Block Grant that we included in our LCAP revision in June, where we talked about how we would spend those one-time dollars. So here's some impacts, some budget factors that we've been experiencing. State funding of the local control fund formula continues to be flat. The cost of living for this year is about 2.3%, but with declining enrollment, that often results in little to no funding increases for districts, because they may give you a little COLA, but if you have less students, the enrollment drops that amount, and we ended up with more of a flat funding for the next couple years. The district continues to experience declining enrollment. We're closely monitoring daily enrollment numbers to refine our projections, and we'll bring those back at first interim. The more we know, the more we can share. A couple district CBOs were calling each other today talking about the impact to the local districts, and I don't think that we're the only ones feeling that. Ongoing expenditures have to be reviewed. Our current deficit spend pattern is not sustainable, so we are going to continue to look at ways that we can improve that. And we do have an impact to general fund of substantial capital improvement projects that we are looking for ways to maybe mitigate with some future ideas. So we'll keep going on that. So next steps. I tell you, my POI office is awesome, but they put this in there, and the risk management in me didn't like the kids balancing on the, but it was cute. So, sorry, that's what I thought of, and that most people don't think like that. So we are going to ask you to approve tonight the unaudited actuals after you get some chances to ask some questions. In December, we are going to bring the audit report, and that will basically give you a cumulative review of what I presented to you tonight. Are there anything that the auditors want to tell you about what I presented? We're going to approve the 25-26 first interim update at a December meeting as well. That gives us a big opportunity. So that I put on there the actual enrollment at our October reporting. So for those of you that don't know, October is the big date where we talk about what the enrollment is. It's a moment in time that we can look at how we're enrolled. We'll have the latest revenue expenditure trends and assumptions. Another good thing that came up in talking with some people about this presentation was the first interim is also a chance to update what I learned from unaudited actuals. So there's going to be some improvements in areas or ways that I'm going to look at that aren't just related to revenue expenditure trends, but things I learned as I closed the books, such as the CalAPS, transition and not having that expense in there. So it's a great opportunity to bring back to the board, to the community, a presentation to kind of say, this is where we started. It is the best information we had at the time, but that's actually why the state gives you an opportunity to have many other presentations throughout so that you can update on any changes that you've experienced. And finally, the next step will be the 25-26 second interim at our March board meeting, and that'll also bring more revenue and expenditure trends assumptions. And by that time, the state of California will have released their January governor's budget, and we'll all be chomping at the bit to hear what comes from that new news, especially with a new governor on the horizon and some other changes that might impact what that looks like. So all those changes will come to you. But I welcome any questions from the board.
Thank you, colleagues. Board Member Cintron.
Thank you so much for the presentation. I did have 3 questions, and I do feel like your presentation did answer one of them, but I'm going to ask all 3.
Fair enough.
So on the budget balance, how can we make sure that the district lives within its budget while still protecting the programs and services our students rely on?
And so that's what we're looking at, to look at what the programs are that we're including in the budget. What some challenges may be. Actually, our cabinet works really well together to discuss different programs. One of the things that I mention often is making sure that we're looking at restricted resources to make sure if those can cover some of our expenditures and prolonged programs, we use those funds first and foremost before they expire. So that's definitely one of the options. But as a cabinet, we do talk about we do talk about budget and things that we're going to do, staffing. This year, definitely with the support of Dr. Smith, we implemented staffing standards for the 25-26 year, which were actually a market improvement on how we looked at schools and how we staffed them this year. And so all of those things are going to start coming to fruition, and we're going to start seeing some of the fruits of our labor. Food tonight is on my mind. So we're going to start to see some of those things come along, and I'm excited to see the improvements we can make.
And those improvements, will we start seeing them in the December or more in the March?
I think we'll start seeing some of them in the December. Again, I learned a lot from, this was my first opportunity to close the books here at Bellflower. I've closed the books for 25 years at different districts, but this was my first opportunity. And when you close the books, your eyes often become eyes wide open about the things that we're working with and how we're doing things. And so I think we'll see some improvements. We'll also look and make sure that we've gathered everything. I'm not going to say that there's not something we may have missed in the budgeting process, because it was my first budget too. So there's good things to come as far as the way that we can look at the things and the way that we can discuss things more deeply, because we'll have a better understanding.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So the hot topic on enrollment, and I know you mentioned October as the button month to really dive deep on that. But with that, since there's fewer students, that means less state funding. And we're at, I don't know, what word did you use? Zero or
Kind of
a flat?
Yes, a flat funding. It's
Flat
very close
funding.
to flat funding because they gave us COLA money, but they also reduced because of our enrollment.
Right. So what steps are we taking to keep families here and then attract new students to Bellflower schools knowing these two elements? And maybe that's not a you question, but.
She'll pass the baton to me.
Yeah, thank you.
So in short, we do want to reach out to many of our families. I know that we had a discussion in cabinet with Alma and her team, reaching out to some of those families who have left to see, number one, why they left and where they're going, what attracted them to the new school district or school site. We are also preparing to roll out a major enrollment campaign, which highlights many amazing programs that are in the Bellflower Unified School District that many folks are not aware of, including our CalAPS classes, our CTE, aviation. We still have Auto Shop, which I think is amazing. I actually visited the classroom 2 weeks ago, and I was just in amazement. Number one, we still have it, and we're one of the few school districts that have it, I believe, in LA County. I don't want to say the only one, but very few districts still have that. And just other amazing programs. Our IOC program, which is truly amazing. Our dual immersion program that many folks don't know unless they live right in this community. So we need to do a better job at marketing many of these amazing things. Culinary arts, our new STEAM building, that again, our community does not know. So we are working with our PIO and working with CalAPS to build an amazing rollout of videos using students to tell their experiences, using our parents, our community members to tell their experiences as well, and also use other ways of marketing our work. And that could be billboards, that could be a myriad of things, and that's something we want to bring to the board for your attention, your consideration, and for your approval of moving forward to the next level and elevating excellence for Bellflower Unified School District.
Thank you so much for that. And I'm really taken back on the reaching out to families that have left and ask why and see how we can figure out a means to come back. So my last question is about the unused funds. And this is one that I feel like was already answered in the presentation, but I'm going to ask it in full. Some funds weren't fully used and will be carried over, which I understand. How will we put those dollars to work next year so students see the benefits in the classroom and the programs right now? And I know you mentioned a little bit of it, but could you give me a little bit of a deeper dive into how those funds will be used?
Yes, absolutely. One of the great things that I think that the Education Services Office and the Fiscal Office worked on this year is we were able to include some of those carryover funds already in our LCAP for the presentation. So the carryover funds, there's other resources that we kind of had to get to the end of the year, but one of the large ones was our Learning Recovery Block Grant. The block grant expires in 2028. But again, most of the carryover is already included in the 3-year plan in the LCAP so that we can help continue to support students. So a lot of the times it's already there, or it's a pretty common carryover. To give you an example of a school site, some of our school sites have Title I funds, and they're already aware of their carryover funds, and they start to look at them in a way when we close the books. They look at what actually carried over, what their new fundings are, and they can make decisions at their site for some of those site funds. So that's a kind of exciting time for sites to kind of get those two numbers together and start to look. We have to close the books. We have to bring this to the board in order to kind of finalize those numbers. And that's why September and October, nothing really slows down for the fiscal office. We start getting those numbers out and start informing people, hey, it's time. Let's look at what we can spend here.
Thank you so much for answering my questions.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
Thanks.
Vice President Garza.
Thank you, Madam President. My question refers to the same large funds that we're talking about. Are we, by any chance, at risk of our audit findings, that we have to do repayment of these funds if they're not spent down?
Actually, no, we monitor our funds very carefully for the expiration years, and we ensure that we spend them in a timely manner. It's how we decide to spend them in concert with my two colleagues in the offices that have most of the grants, which is Ms. Uoa and Ms. Carter. We spend a lot of time talking about expiration dates, when those times are coming, how we're going to look at the way that we're spending them, and how we're going to ensure that we do it. There's some decisions to be made about whether we take a grant that is given to us over 4 years and spread it over 4 years so that we can impact in a different way, or whether there's an option to buy something in the first year that will impact students for years to come. So all of those conversations are had, and this district does an awesome job of ensuring, before I got here, this district does an awesome job of ensuring that funds are spent and don't go back to state or federal resources.
Thank you. That's all my questions.
Thank you.
Clerk Critchfield.
Thank you, President Stewart. I want to start by mentioning something that was mentioned in the presentation, but it doesn't really show up in the document itself. But it's something that got a lot of attention last year. It was the fiscally independent designation. For years, this district operated as if it was fiscally independent from the county, even though we hadn't held that status for some time, which created a real potential for a legal showdown. I just want to say I'm proud of this board for making a different choice, and instead of fighting the county, we leaned into rebuilding the relationship and pursued partnership. It was a long and difficult process, but it worked, and not only did we avoid the heavy legal costs that we were warned about, and not only did it not drain our resources like we were warned about, it actually brought positive results, as you mentioned earlier. Part of the improvements we saw in the unaudited actuals came from the additional funds that we were able to recoup by opening that collaboration with the county. And with that partnership, there are more safeguards now than there were before, and increased accountability. And I know that's more work for staff, but I appreciate that work because you've done a tremendous job of turning the trust from this board with previous administrations, and also the public trust in what you're doing. But the outcome, I do have to say, thank you to former Superintendent Ms. Acevedo for starting that financial shift, Dr. Smith for bringing his expertise and strong relationships with the county, Ms. Arcus and your entire staff for all the day-to-day, because I know there were a lot of little pieces of that puzzle that needed to happen. So thank you and your staff, and Dr. Simon for getting us across the finish line with that. It's not like a very juicy topic that's going to get a lot of attention, but that relationship and how we're working with our county partners makes a big difference, and we see it in our budget. So thank you very much. At the same time, we've been working to clean that up. We've also been cleaning up what I would call, and I've called in the past, doomsday accounting. At one time, we saw swings of up to $50 million when we looked at our estimates to our actuals. And that made decision-making very difficult for the board, in my opinion, and led to money that was supposed to be used for this year's kids not get used, and there was a lot of carryover because of that. With Ms. Arcus's leadership, I think we've turned the page on that. We now have a more reasonable and responsible approach, still cautious where it needs to be, but focus on spending this year's money on this year's kids while keeping our district sustainable for years to come. And I appreciate our conversation the other day about carryovers and how, some of these, because we're not spot on and we're never going to be, but not letting that, the assumptions affect the programming needs of this year's kids. So I think that's very, very important. So Renee, thank you for your hard work that you've already done to improve the practices, and I know there's still more work to be done. I know there's software and there's different investments that we'll need to make to get the estimates even closer when it comes to tracking some of those numbers. So I'm supportive of all that. I believe financial oversight is the heart of our responsibility on the dais. Feels like just yesterday we were having those 50 million swings. It wasn't yesterday, but it feels that way. But today I think we're practicing responsible financial management. And tomorrow, because of the leadership in place right now, I believe that we're better positioned to meet the needs of our students. So I just want to say I know I've been, usually when the budget comes up, and I know this is the first time closing the books, I've been pretty hard on, hey, these numbers don't match, and I'd kind of get zeroed in on that. But I trust the work that's being done, and I see the progress, and I appreciate the communication and the transparency. So thank you.
Board Member Armstrong.
Thank you so much.
Oh, sorry. Yes, thank you, Renee. You're amazing. Board Member Armstrong.
Yeah, I just want to say congratulations on your first time closing our books. You know, I think I'm speaking for our entire board when I say that we are understanding the budget much more clearer. And so we do, I always, I've worked as a treasurer before, and so I know some things, but this is so complicated and so much you have to look at. So I just want to congratulate you and your staff, and I love the way how you brought it out that you three really work together, because we do need to spend our money on our kids, for that year. And if we do have funds that will cover 4 years, divvy it out. Or, like you say, buy that program that's going to last that 4 years. So, again, congratulations. I thank you guys for your hard work and making it easier for us, because this budget could be very difficult if you don't understand how to read it. So, congratulations.
Thank you.
I'm going to just ditto what they said. I'll be honest, when I first looked at this and I saw the 2.5, I was like, is this right? What am I looking at? It's usually like 20, 30, like what's happening? So it is really nice that we're getting closer, and I appreciate all of you guys. We've said, for months that we have a really great staff in our executive board, and we have an amazing new superintendent, so I just want to say thank you again to all of you guys. This is so much better looking at this than how we used to leave, because we used to be frustrated, really frustrated. So thank you very much for everything. Anybody else?
Can I just say thank you again?
Absolutely.
Because it's much appreciated, and I do really mean that this group of people right here in front of me have made this work so much easier. That group of people in front of me up at the dais have actually made this work easier because you ask the questions. It makes me look inside and try to figure out ways to, bring you back something that I can be proud of, and I'm really proud tonight. So thank you.
You should have lots of cookies tonight. All right, so we're moving on to the consent agenda. Does anybody have an item? No, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I didn't push the button, Board President Stewart.
okay,
I was
sorry.
waiting for your timing. But I just want to say congratulations to also our CBO, Renee Arcus. If you don't know Renee takes the budget very seriously. She looks at every number. She probably scrutinizes and is sometimes maybe her worst critic when it comes to it. But I appreciate that, because that competitiveness really helps in support of ensuring that our money is served and spent appropriately on students. And even for her, although she may not have a teaching or instructional background, she looks at that lens very clearly, right, when we're making decisions or having conversations around budget. So to your point, I just want to congratulate her as well for closing the books for her first time in the Bellflower Unified School District, and just to tell her she's appreciated. And again, thank you so much.
And just to add one more thing, it's just really nice to trust someone and believe what they say and ask your questions. I haven't felt like that on this board. Well, for the last year I have, so we really appreciate you, really. Mm-hmm. Anything else? Anybody? Okay, so moving on to the consent agenda. Do we have any items to withhold from the consent agenda this evening? Anyone? All right, hearing none. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
You have that motion.
Can I get a second?
You have a second?
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Student Board Member Iwanyanwu. Ms. Armstrong?
Aye.
Ms. Cintron?
Aye.
Mr. Critchfield?
Aye.
Mrs. Garza?
Aye.
Ms. Stewart?
Aye. All right, so it's time for board communications. Let's start with Board Member Cintron.
Thank you, President. Well, I just wanted to say, and I wanted to chime in, but I didn't want to make it longer. Even though you don't have a teaching credential, I have felt incredibly encouraged by you with these numbers. I think that when I was doing my nonprofit thing for 10 years and I had to do budgets, I wish you were on my team to teach me stuff, because I realize that there's still trauma from other things in the past. But I just want to say that our cabinet, just in its totality, really leads with transparency, authenticity, and with the power of empowering others. And I really appreciate that about you. So I just wanted to make that very, very clear. So thank you. So I had the pleasure of going to Mayfair versus Yorba Linda in the SoFi Stadium. Okay, I have to say I did feel spoiled. We got field view, and I've never been on the field, so I just can't afford it. So it was amazing. Our football teams were super enthusiastic, and they were energized. And yeah, they didn't take home the victory, but just to have that experience there with them and our cabinet members and some of my colleagues, it was incredible. And I hope that we have more opportunities like this for our students in all different sports, not just football. But it was incredible. So I just want to say thanks for saying yes to that. Let's do more, and let's do better. But also, I also had the privilege of attending the Mayfair Stadium Project Forum. And I want to thank all the parents that came out and the students that came out, the student groups that really represented there. It was incredibly enlightening, realizing that I didn't realize it was 12 years. This is a 12-year path to get this field done. And so it was just really, really nice to hear everybody and see the enthusiasm about this, and also for people to voice any concerns and to just know more of the little bits of the project. So we look forward to making that happen. So I want to just shout out to the parents and the students that came out. I also want to take some time to welcome the student board members, even the ones that went home early. I'd like to think they're doing homework, and to our newest staff for coming out as well. I love the enthusiasm of our new staff, especially when they come out. And I love how all of them were like, 3 weeks, we're in 3 weeks. That's all I kept hearing. And I really appreciate that. And I really love seeing the power of the welcome of our district with our new staff. Not only do I feel like we picked well, we hired well, but also for our staff and our admin people and our teachers to be able to welcome their new staff members in such a positive way to help students. And really, I've been getting really good feedback from students on campus across my district. So it's been really, really nice. And a side note from one of the comments, commute. I love how he's like, I could just go down the street now, because that's exactly how I feel. So yes, productivity. I agree with that. So that's all for me, and thank you.
Okay, I have to apologize. I just forgot we have a student board member. Can you please I'm going to mess up your name. Can you just tell us all your name, like, slowly, so I just understand how to say your name, please?
Chibike Iwanyawo.
Oh, Chibike?
Yes.
Yeah, we're going to go with that. Okay, I'm going to go back to you, Chibike. Thank you so much. Vice President Garza and we interviewed so many amazing students. There was, I think, 5 of them, and we were just taken away, and we're so excited to have you here. So go ahead, and let's start with you. I'm sorry.
So something I forgot to add earlier during my introduction, it was the reason why I actually wanted to be part of this position. I think based on my experiences at Mayfair, or I think just being in the district in general, I've always felt like student attitude towards school and towards the district has been somewhat negative. Like I know that I've seen and I've heard people say that their voices don't really matter, and I used to feel that way before, but then I learned about these positions. I applied for principal's cabinet last year, which unfortunately I didn't get in, but now I'm here on the board. So that drive for wanting to actually be a voice for students and maybe maybe get them to change their attitudes about school to maybe be more positive is why I really chose to be here. And going back to what Mr. Critchfield said about the CalAPS classes, I was just curious about whether, I don't know about the other CalAPS courses, but I know for culinary, they start with the culinary one and then bacon and pastry and then bacon and pastry capstone. I was wondering if maybe there would be a chance to have a culinary arts capstone, because I feel like it would make sense for students to have the option of what they would want to specialize in, since they'd have the basics of both culinary arts and baking. So if they wanted to do the capstone for culinary arts, they could do that, and then the baking one is obviously already open. Yeah, I don't think there's anything else I really need to say. It was just that was the main thing I wanted to say. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And I know our board president for CalAPS and we will talk about that with Ms. Whitney about this capstone. So thank you so much. Board Member Armstrong.
Thank you, President Stewart. Welcome, everyone, for being here tonight with us. I just want to say I did also attend the Mayfair football game at SoFi Stadium, and then when I saw that, and trust me, I love being out on that field too, and it's such an experience for our students to be able to play on a professional field. I can remember when my younger brother, he was a quarterback, he had the opportunity to play in the Rose Bowl, and so that was really, really cool. So I know that kids enjoyed it way more than we did. And then when I saw on this little card that they were going to be in Las Vegas, I'm almost disappointed because I just knew they were going to be at the Allegiant. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to go to the Allegiant Stadium too. But anyway, I'm okay with that. Okay? I'm okay. So anyway, I'm excited for the kids as they enter, this year's, sports program. So I also met with the superintendent. I went to the back-to-school night for Mayfair and Bellflower, and as a band mom, I really enjoy listening to the band, and it was just nice to see the staff, the counselors, the parents, and the students, just excited about the year ahead, especially, seeing the counselors and teachers that also taught my children. And it was nice for them to show their concern, like, how are your children doing? And then I have to go through well, this one's that, and this one's that, and this one's, So anyway, that was pretty cool, just really mingling and, with the staff and the students. Oh, and PTA. Linda was here. I don't know if she's still here. She's here. Yeah, and PTA, they had their meeting, their council meeting, and I just want to let you guys know, she'd already told you that they have a lot planned for our students and families this year, so we are looking forward to eventful, fun school year, so she wants us to sign up. So y'all get those memberships in, and let's see what else. So I just want to share this too. I'm going to be co-hosting, excuse me. I'm going to be co-hosting a legislative water workshop on September 20th, and with the organization called WELL. And my colleague know what WELL is very well. Actually, her husband actually was a speaker at one of our legislative workshops. And for people who do not know what WELL is, it's Water Education for Latino Leaders. And it's a statewide nonprofit that's dedicated to educating and engaging local elected officials on California's most pressing water issues. So this workshop is going to be hosted by myself and other people who completed the program. And And we're going to just explore and talk about how we can transform school campuses into living laboratories that conserve water, create greener neighborhoods, and inspire the next generation. And, you know, what skills will the water workforce need in the coming decade? I'd like to add that there is a lot of money and a lot of water projects coming on. The last huge one was when they, about 100 years ago, when they did the Hoover Dam. And I tell you, that facility is still running smooth, but we have other challenges that we're exploring. We just want to ensure that our communities are ready and what technologies will shape California's water future and how we make sure every neighborhood has equity in our water sources. So, and it includes all aspects of it. So that'll be September 20th. I'll be co-hosting. I also want to share, I got some information on this organization called Schools on Wheels. It's a volunteering, it's an organization where they volunteer to provide free tutoring and mentoring to children from kindergarten through 12th grade living in shelters, motels, vehicles, group foster homes, and the streets of Southern California. So I'll pass this information to you because I know we have some students who have extra needs, and I want you guys just to explore, you know, how this resource can possibly support our students. It's a free resource. Looking at you guys in the audience, and I'm not going to say too much about my board members, but y'all be tearing up those cookies. I'm just saying that because you know what? National Cookie Day is coming up, you all. We got to celebrate National Cookie Day. It's December 4th. The only thing with that is we're going to be at CSBA. So December 4th. I don't know when we're going to celebrate National Cookie Day. Look. Any more cookies over there? So you guys, I'm gonna beg. I don't even have to beg you guys because they love the cookies. But we need to celebrate National Cookie Day. But it's gonna have to be either in November or December 11th because we're gonna be at CSBA. And with that being said, I want to know, Chibike, are you gonna attend CSBA with us? Okay, we're gonna talk to you. We're going to talk to you. I think it's very important because, you know, your voice matters. And I hope you attend. We need to talk about it and see if we can do that. Because what's going to happen if you are able to go, you'll be able to meet like-minded students like yourself. And, you know, just to know that your role is so important because you are our eyes and our direct eyes on the climate and culture and attitudes that's on that campus. And we need you, you know, to bring all those issues or concerns to this body, you know, whether it be good, bad, or ugly. So, because, you know, we're not on those campuses. And trust me, you're going to find out how influential you are. And we need you to be our voice to the students, and we need you to be that voice for the students to us. So congratulations. I just want to put that out there. So I welcome you. And I also welcome all the new staff is gone, but welcome the new staff too. So I think that's about it. National Cookie Day. Thank you.
Renee, I didn't see you writing down the plan to put the cookies out at Christmas like I gave you like a month ago, but now you're hearing about the cookies. So
I'm not going to share them
down.
with everybody.
Clerk Critchfield.
Thank you, President Stewart. First of all, thank you all for being here. I know it's a busy couple weeks, so I appreciate you being here and being engaged. I had the privilege of going, and pardon my voice, it's all messed up, sorry. I had the privilege of attending the Mayfair football game at SoFi Stadium. I think it's awesome that our students got the experience playing on that stage. I did learn at the event that it was a fundraiser for the other school, which immediately made me think, why not Bellflower Unified? Why aren't we creating those opportunities to raise money for our students and invite others to play while raising money for our programs? So it's something I'm putting out there. It was just another moment that reminded me of why I'm so excited about the BUSD Foundation launch. And I'm grateful for those that stepped up to serve on that board. On Monday, the 26th, I met with the foundation chair, Allison Castellanos, to hear how things are coming along, and I'm excited for the initiative to take off. One of the things we're talking about were healthy vending machines and how we can start raising money for the foundation, but again, putting that out into the universe because I think it's a great idea and I think it solves a lot of problems. On August 28th, I attended the Mayfair Community Forum on the CEQA report. Thank you very much to our district council, Mr. Sarega, for leading that effort and making sure our community was heard. My takeaway, the community supports the project moving forward. The concerns raised were reasonable and can be addressed. I also felt relief knowing we're hiring a project manager for Mayfair Fields. I think that's a step in the right direction to ensure excellence in this district without overloading our own staff. But I can't stress enough the importance of the strong collaboration with our own team. Patrick and his whole team, they bleed Mayfair blue, and I know that they know these facilities better than anyone. We need them to be at the table, part of these decisions, because when the project is complete, they'll be the ones maintaining it, and our students will be the ones using it. So I did recommend hiring a project manager, and I fully support it because we need it done right and we need it on schedule. But the true success of the Mayfair Stadium project will ultimately be measured in the morale and the pride of the students on that campus, not in the bricks and the turf that are laid. Speaking of facilities, thank you, staff, for leading the comprehensive facilities master plan. I know that's in the works right now. Our last plan, it wasn't good enough, and this will help us align our immediate improvements with long-term vision. And I keep saying it, and I'll keep saying it while I'm still allowed to, but we do need a bond at Bellflower Unified. 99% of bond measures passed in the last election. Our kids deserve the same investment as the other school districts around us. I think this effort will take the entire community to support it, and I think it also take the support of our partners at the cities of Bellflower, Lakewood, and Cerritos to get behind it and support the effort, support our students, and support the community as a whole. So I'm going to keep saying it while I'm still allowed to, because I know there's a certain point I can't say it from up here. But I know that's something that I think there's an appetite for it, and I know we need it. On safety, I'm glad we're moving forward with new measures. I saw the Halo vape detectors installed at Mayfair, and I know they're installed at Bellflower as well. And after I posted a picture of me and Vice President Garza with the vape detector, I appreciate Dr. Simon texting me and saying, hey, just so you know, they're not fully operational yet. So I appreciate the heads up. As that rolls out, I tend to jump the gun really fast. What? Stop it. So I appreciated the heads up. Safety is and always will be the number one priority. This has been a difficult week with the tragic shooting in Minneapolis. One school shooting is too many, and the fear is only heightened when certain scares happen so close to home. My heart is definitely with those parents in that community. I think protecting children is our collective responsibility, and I'm proud of this board supporting moving forward with safety investments and having those conversations. I also attended Mayfair and Bellflower Back to School Nights. It's always energizing to be on campus with students and parents. Big thank you to, is it Miss Morgan or Dr. Morgan? Dr. Morgan. Dr. Morgan and Ms. Cummings for leading those events. It's Ms. Cummings? Okay. I don't want to rob you of all the work, you know. No, you guys did an amazing job, and I think that even though back to school nights and things like that are a lot of work for you and staff, I think they're very, very important as parents get comfortable with their children on site. And then I got to hang out with the CalApps booth, and I'll definitely take those recommendations back about the pathways. We're always trying to add new pathways and grow the program because we really do have so many great things here in BUSD with CalApps. I want to put on the record my ongoing concern about middle and high school setup. When I first joined the board, I'll be honest, I was led to believe that students in middle school and high school were separated as much as possible, as much as possibility would allow, which calmed my concern just as a parent and somebody who was uneasy about it. Instead, I focused on the uniqueness and where that could be a strength to our district, and the cost of separating them was through the roof too. So I kind of backed off. But as I go on campus more and more and I learn more, I don't think that there's really enough separation. And I think at a minimum, I believe that the middle schoolers should have a designated bathroom for just middle schoolers and other boundaries where possible. So 12-year-olds can be with their peers without too much big kid interaction for their own comfort. I think it's a reasonable step. We don't have a meeting in the books for the safety committee, but I think maybe that's something that could be a topic to get other people's opinions on and have those discussions with everybody. Because it's just my opinion, but I want to hear more about from staff on site to see what we can do better. Because I think it's something that could be addressed, and on that, maybe at that meeting, it would be nice if we can get like the data that you spoke about earlier, of just seeing as kids matriculate where they leave our district, and see permits granted at what grade, to see if perhaps having middle high schools does drive away. I know we kind of dabbled in that a couple years ago, but the data wasn't really complete. So it'd be great to revisit that, just get a better picture. For me, personally, it's been an action-packed week or a couple weeks. Both my kids started school. Then, of course, we all got sick like everybody else. And then next week I go to the California Latino School Boards Association in San Diego, so I'm excited about that. Been looking forward to going to that one for a while. But overall, I'm excited about the year. I think there's real momentum in our district, and I'm proud of the work that's being done by staff, teachers, and administrators, and I'm proud of this board. Thanks again for coming out tonight, and just know that you have a board that listens, a board that responds, and is always looking out for your kids. So have a fantastic school year ahead.
Thank you. Vice President Garza.
Thank you, President Stewart. I was unable to attend the SoFi Stadium Mayfair game. I was stuck in traffic, so I know. But I did get the play-by-play from my colleagues, so thank you so much. I'm looking forward to also working along with our new student board member. And I want to say that I know Mrs. Rockway would be very, very proud of you.
Thank you.
I will be making sure that she knows that you are here with us. Ms. Rockway was our new student board member's kindergarten dual immersion teacher. So I did get to see our student board member, but I did not have the privilege to be part of his educational career. So that's kind of what links us. And I'm very proud that our students, are given these opportunities in our district to be able to explore and see if they want to do this when they become, full-fledged adults with all of us. I also want to say thank you to Mayfair High School for hosting, the community and us, for their back-to-school night. I was able to make it onto that one. And it was really nice to see the large part of our community, come on that campus that night. So thank you so much for, showing up, talking to the teachers, because they put a lot of time and effort into greeting you and welcoming you back to our school year. I think for now that will be it, and I look forward to going to the rest of this open or back-to-school nights next week. Thanks.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I apologize for missing some of the meeting. As I said, I had back-to-school night tonight. So Friday, August 22nd, I attended the home opener for Bellflower football team. I couldn't go to the SoFi Stadium, and it was really sad, but my daughter flew in from Texas. I think I told you guys last meeting, so I wanted to see her. I haven't seen her in like 6 months. But I did go to the Bellflower High School opener on August 22nd. What an exciting game if anyone was there. Santa Ana, they scored late in the fourth quarter, and we never gave up, and we pushed down the field, and with 11 seconds, we scored, and we won 27-21, and it was so awesome. The kids were so excited. So I'm so proud of our student athletes and our coaching staff. We were 0-10 last year, and it was really sad as an alumni and just for Bellflower football. So we're already 1-0, and we're off to a good start, so I'm really excited. I just want to give props to freshman Austin Miller. Man, this guy's going to be so good. He is just a gem to watch. He's so talented. If you don't know, he's a freshman. He's 6'5". He's like 190, 200, and he's one of the top recruits in the nation right now. And he scored his first touchdown that night as a freshman playing on varsity. So I'm so proud of Austin, and he's just an amazing kid. And I just am so excited to see what he does over the next 4 years. On October 10th, just to plug, a big group of Bellflower alumni from our early 90s, so I'm dating myself, but a lot of past football players, we're all going to be attending the game, so we're calling all alumni to please come out and celebrate our next generation of talented athletes. Again, October 10th, the game is at home at Bellflower at 7 o'clock. On the 26th, I met with BTA President John Young, and I always love having those conversations. We discussed a lot of specific things happening with like tentative agreements, and as well as, and I did talk with Dr. Simon so she understands, is in this district, I feel like something that we still need to improve on, and I'm listening, is just our focus on systems and things being in place, protocols, procedures. We've talked about our administrative regulations, district guidelines, just for the implementation of basic things, such as like we were talking about inclement weather schedules and trying to make sure that we're all on the same page. So that was a really good conversation, and I will continue to support, them and what they need. I attended the Mayfair public meeting regarding the fields. I appreciate Dr. Simon and her team holding that for public input. I think community voices are just always needed, and the more communication we have with the public, the better, and I will always believe that. Last night, I attended back to school night at Bellflower High School. Mrs. Cummings, thank you so much. You always do an amazing and great job. Her Title I messages are so organized and so easy to understand. That's a very complicated thing to talk to parents about, where our funding comes from and all the different categories, and you just make it really simplified, and it's really nice for our parents, so I appreciate that. Thank you to PTA for everything that they do. I do have my 12 envelopes of $10. I filled out all my envelopes, so I'm going to hand that to Sylvia before I leave. So please, everyone, join every PTA if you can, $10 each, and support them. They do so much. So thank you to PTA. I also wanted to say thank you to Cal Apps for having a booth to show off our unique, and we have super cool pathways, so it was really nice to see them out there. Tomorrow, I am thrilled to attend the ribbon cutting ceremony for our Bellflower baseball team at the high school. Bellflower has some amazing facilities for just Cal Apps. I know Dr. Simon talked about this, athletics, and so many beautiful fields and grass for space. And I do think we talked about the enrollment campaign a little bit, enrollment campaign. I think it would be nice to put a video for next year's enrollment campaign, just highlighting our facilities, especially our athletic facilities at Bellflower, the new weight room that we've added, the culinary arts room, the auto shop, our flight simulator, and all the different things that we have to offer. I think that would be an amazing enrollment campaign because we have some beautiful facilities. Next week, I will be attending back to school night at ILC, and then I'm off to the California Latino School Board Conference as well in San Diego, which I have not attended, so I'm really excited to learn and grow as a board member there. And just a few things I added. One, I was really excited to see Las Flores here on our student representative reports. We had a person come and approach us, Vice President Garza and I, when we were doing interviews for student board members, and they are a part of our program, and I'm really excited to see that we have added them here, so that's a really exciting thing. And then just lastly, one last thing that I would like to ask. I know we've had a lot of movement in our special education, and I know we've moved to a lot of different sites. I would really love if, again, I've talked about this before, if we would look into just the possibility of some special equipment for them, any adaptive swings, any shade areas that we need for our SPED students, and just anything to support the movement to the other schools. We've moved a lot of kids around, and I know they ask about things like that. They just want their kids to be able to swing on the swings and be able to play in the playground. So I hope as we continue to look at those SPED changes that we continue to look at that equipment and those shade areas for our other students, please. All right. Is there any questions on the informational items? Or are there any questions? Sorry. All right. Okay, so if there is no objection, this meeting is adjourned at 8:11 p.m. until the regular board meeting to be held on September 18th, 2025. Thank you.